Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new archetype, the MagiKeys. I guess it's going to be a ritual archetype, but there is some dragons, at least in the fusion department. So let's see what this archetype is all about. So kicking it right off, we've actually got a vanilla card, which is actually called the MagiKey Sky Blaster Clavis, and it is a warrior normal dark level 4 with 1900 attack and 1900 defense points. And we won't go over the flavor text over here, but it doesn't have an effect. It's a normal monster. Anyways, the first actual effect card is going to be a ritual card named the MagiKey Blaster P.O Buster, which is a machine ritual tuner effect dark level 4 with 2000 attack and 2200 defense points. And it says you can ritual summon this card with MagiKey Mafia. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part of it says, if this card is ritual summoned, you get to add a MagiKey card from your deck to your hand. The second part is, once per turn, when an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster with the same attribute as a normal monster or MagiKey monster in your graveyard, you can place any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of the deck. And if you do, negate that opponent's monster's effect until the end of this turn. Then draw cards equal the number of cards you placed. Now, since this part is then draw, I'm not sure if you can interrupt it halfway through and then your opponent makes it so you just draw 0. Like, that could be a huge deal breaker, obviously. Depending on how it is actually going to work when it officially comes out in the TCG, maybe the wording may differ, but that could be something to take into consideration. Unfortunately, though, I mean, it's got 2200 attack, negating the monster's effect when only when the attack is declared, you get to negate that opponent's monster's effect. It doesn't even like negate and then destroy that monster. So I feel like that's a little bit weak, but let's go ahead and check out the rest of the archetype. Next up though, we have the MagiKey Cannon Gersvet over here. So here's the zoomed up artwork on this. 2000 attack, 2800 defense points, and it is going to be a machine ritual effect earth level 8, 2000 attack, 2800 defense points, and it says you can ritual summon this card with MagiKey Mafia. You can only use the second and third effects of this card's name once per turn each. The first part of it says it gains 300 attack for each monster attribute in your graveyard. Second part of it says when your opponent activates the effect of a monster with the same attribute as a monster in your graveyard and you control this ritual, this card ritual summon using 2 monsters with 2 or more attributes as a quick effect, you can negate the activation and destroy that monster. Okay, this is a much better effect. And then the third part is if this ritual summon card is sent to the graveyard, you get to add 1 MagiKey monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, next up they've got, I guess, some fusions too. Let's check out the artwork on this. This is MagiKey Summon Beast AzneyesWhitedragon over here. So it is going to be a level 4 dark 2200 attack and 2000 defense points, and it requires, oh, and it's also a tuner. It's a beast fusion tuner effect, which is important, and its requirements are going to be 1 MagiKey monster plus 1 non-token normal monster. It says you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part of it is if this card is fusion summoned, you get to add 1 MagiKey Mafia from your graveyard to your hand. The second part is once per turn, you target 1 opponent's attack position monster with the same attribute as a normal monster or MagiKey monster in your graveyard. Change it to defense position. If you do, it loses 1000 defense. The third effect is banish any monster destroyed by battle with this card. So that's okay. At the end of the day, like, can almost hit things for, like, if you want to think of it just running over things. And on top of that, it does banish the card, but you still have to summon it and then actually activate the effect and then still go for the battle to get, like, you know, max value. But I think this card so far is like the only real, like, viable one, which is the Gersvet, which has that quick effect with the same attribute. Next up though, here is the Dragon fusion here. So this is MagiKey Summon Beast AzneyesWhitedragon. It is a Dragon fusion effect, win level 8, and its attack is going to be 2800 and the defense points is 2000. So it requires 1 MagiKey effect monster plus 1 non-token normal monster. And it says, as the first part of the effect, when fusion summoned, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects. The second part is, once per turn, you get to target a normal monster or MagiKey monster in your graveyard and destroy all monsters your opponent controls with the same attribute. Third part of it is, once per turn, when an opponent's monster or monsters with the same attribute as a monster in your graveyard is destroyed by battle or by card effect, and you control this fusion summoned using monsters with 2 or more attributes as material, you can draw 1 card. Okay, this is like an interesting effect, but realistically, we have so much, you have like the arch nemesis to like pop all of that one type anyways. Like the fact, maybe several years ago this would sound really cool, but again, we have, again, as Chados, can do basically the same thing, right? And it's much faster, I would say. And then next up though, we have the MagiKey Mafia. Okay, so this is a card that is going to, I guess, going to be their fusion card. So here it is, and it is a normal spell card that says fusion summon 1 MagiKey fusion monster from your extract using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, or ritual summon a MagiKey ritual monster from your hand by triggering monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster. If you control a normal monster, you can also send 1 normal monster from your deck to the graveyard as fusion material or as one of the monsters required for the ritual summon. Okay, I'm thinking that the deck will probably benefit off of, like, so far at least, let me like double check this. I'm pretty sure it would heavily benefit off of the advanced ritual, advanced rit, because this one lets you 1 ritual monster, you send normal monsters from your deck to the graveyard that equals, so like this would instantly throw in those cards for your setups. So I think that that'd be a good option, but they've only got 1 vanilla as of right now. We'll check out the rest of the archetype. Maybe it'll have something to redeem itself, because so far it's a little bit underwhelming. Anyways, next up we have the MagiKey Unsealing, which is the field spell for them, and it says that you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. You can only use the 3rd effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part of it says when this card resolves, you get to add 1 MagiKey monster from your deck to your hand. The second part is the first time each normal monster you control will be destroyed by battle by card effect each turn except tokens, it is not destroyed. The third part says during your main phase, you get to add a MagiKey Mafia from your deck to your hand, then place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. Okay. Then next up, we have more support for them. We have Connected MagiKey. Here's the zoomed up artwork on the trap card. It looks like it's all about this little like weapon that he's got. It looks like kind of like a cartoon gun. Anyways, normal trap card, target 1 normal monster or 1 MagiKey monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Then you can apply 1 of these effects. Fusion summon 1 MagiKey fusion monster from your extract in defense position using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. The ritual summon part says ritual summon 1 MagiKey ritual monster from your hand in defense position by triggering monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster. And then we have a counter trap for them, which is the unlock or MagiKey lock unlock. Okay. Anyways, so here's the artwork on this. So it is a counter trap card. It says you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. The first part of it says when your opponent activates a spell/trap card while you control a MagiKey ritual monster or MagiKey monster special summon from the extract, negate that activation. If you do, destroy that card. Then you can declare 1 attribute. If you do, all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls become the declared attribute until the end of this turn. Okay, the only unfortunate part with this is currently control. A lot of times people will activate some other cards before they go for their monster effects. Therefore, this card loses out on the ability. It should have been like for the rest of the turn, they become that all monsters your opponent currently controls and summons until the end phase. That's what the archetype needed to be really good. I mean, keep in mind right now there are several cards that are tuners, but we don't have any synchros, so I'm guessing maybe they will get some type of synchro monster. I mean, this is our first early look at you know, this archetype, but I think from what it looks like, I would say it's kind of underwhelming. But there's another new card that I just saw the name of. Okay, this is just a vanilla, but it's not part of it. It's just the way that they named this card is too good, man. It is Can D, but it's got like, you know, the 2 dots with the D, so it's like a little smiley face. That card gonna be confirmed short print, secret rare, super hard to get. It's gonna be next $100 card Kappa, but nonetheless, I know you YuGiOh collectors will love that card, but I just thought that was kind of funny and I want to go ahead and share it. But I'm curious to know what you guys think of the whole archetype. As of right now, I would say Garzvet is probably the only like good card, and the unfortunate part with this is the second effect can only be used once per turn, because it's not like you're going to get out like multiples of these, right? Anyways, at least that's the way I see it, and it has to be ritual summon using 2 or more. So you'd have to, the ritual card, I guess the ritual or fusion card you can get basically for free, right? And then on top of that, you're still using the extra 2 cards, and then you still have to have the ritual in your hand, I think it requires a little bit too much for what I would consider to be not necessarily like terrible effect, but it's just outclassed by what's seen in today's game. And like I mentioned before with this, I think the counter trap needs to be like not just currently controls, but for the rest of the turn for people to want to actually play it. But those are my thoughts. You guys can let me know yours down below in the comment section below. But if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here and do want to keep up to date with the latest new Yu-Gi-Oh cards, as soon as they get announced, we'll definitely cover them. So subscribe, turn the bell, and you'll see more very soon. But take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.